Oh my gosh, I'm surprised that people came. Because it's so early in the morning here. It's like, well, I guess it's not that early. It's like 10 o'clock. So, hi guys. So I just wanted to chat with you guys today. How are you guys liking the content? Like, are you guys liking the new way that we are filming? I know it's kind of strange because it's like all in color, but do you guys enjoy that? Or like how are you guys doing? Hi from Myrtle Beach. Oh my gosh, I bet it's pretty there. You're so welcome for the great content. I love filming, you guys. I don't know if you guys know that, but I love filming. I've been filming hardcore these past couple weeks to try to like get ahead. Because I know that like the holidays are coming, so I want to make sure that I have everything covered for then. But do you guys enjoy the color shots? Or should we go back to doing the IR? Do you guys know? Also, can you hear me? Because the green thingy isn't really lighting up very much, and I've got so many things plugged in, I don't know. I don't know. It's 67. Yay! Spooky season is coming, you guys. So I was thinking, really enjoying the videos. How is that pronounced? Mooresville, Indiana? I live in Indianapolis. And I actually just moved here. I moved here like 6 months ago, maybe. I moved here in February. Indiana's such a crazy state. I don't know why. It's crazy. The color is fine. You like them both. That's so great. And you can hear me. That's wonderful. So I do have some projects coming up. I have a lot of collabs. I know we've been talking about that. Yeah, black and white does have that like documentary feel. And as much as I love black and white, I love the color version because I like you guys to be able to see what I see. And you know, when you're shooting in black and white, it doesn't do the buildings justice. Like you can't see how beautiful all of that is. And when you're staring into a long dark hallway and you have an IR light, you guys are seeing something different from what I'm seeing. So the reason, not only because my camera broke, but another reason why I shoot in color is because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm seeing. I think that's super important. I'm so glad that you like them both. Anyway, so it is officially September and I'm super excited because I'm going to be doing a bunch of spooky stuff. I mean, I do spooky stuff year round, so like there's nothing different. Good morning. Anyway, so basically the whole month of September is going to be investigations, and I'm going to try my hardest to do the whole month of October as investigations too. So we are getting ready for spooky season, and it's super exciting because everybody loves spooky season. I love spooky season. I don't know. Everybody, like, I feel like a lot of people are just over summer and they're ready for fall because it's nice and like chilly, and I love the colors too. But I'm so down with getting spooky. It's not even funny. You're in the Netherlands. Oh my gosh. That's like crazy how you're on here, because like I just figured that people from the US would be on here. And I love you guys so much. I love the fact that there are so many in this, like so many people in this community who are not just from like the US or like from England. And it's so crazy to see everybody coming together and loving something and like being so passionate about something. And I talk to some of these groups and they're like, oh, I'm from Australia, or like I'm from India. And it's so great to see everybody just coming together and sharing that bond over like the one specific thing that we all love, which is so great. I love the community so much. I don't know if you guys know that, but I'm so glad that you like everything that I'm putting out. And you know, the color version is so much easier to edit. I find that before, when I was doing the IR version, I had to lay the audio over, which is why the audio sometimes didn't line up, or why it was like it didn't sound that great. And a lot of people complained about the audio, and I definitely took into consideration that. So I was like, let's see if we can find something else. And then my camera broke when I was on location, and I was like, oh, great. Like, I have to film with my phone, and luckily I just got an iPhone because my old phone was crap. So my iPhone has a pretty good camera on it. So that's what we're going to be shooting with from now on, and it's super crazy. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Honestly, like, I'm just so happy over the whole thing. Like, I have seen so much growth in my channel since I started posting consistently, which was a really big thing for me because I don't want to say that I don't like commitment, but I don't like letting people down. So if I know that there's a chance that I'm not going to be able to do something, I won't even mention it. Like, I felt really bad because I know that I said that I was going to do a live with my sister, and then things happened and I didn't have time to go live with her, and I felt super bad because I thought like 100% like we were going to do a live. I wouldn't have mentioned it if I didn't think that we were going to. But I hate being like disappointing in any way, so that's why I try really hard. So once I decided that I was going to be uploading consistently is when I've seen so much growth, and I'm so thankful for all the growth that I have for my channel. And it's just so crazy to think that there are that many people out there who even want to see something that I do. And the fact that you guys love it just as much as I do is just so heartwarming because, like, I really do love what I do. So my sister came this weekend and we hung out, but we also filmed. So next week is the Fowler Theater, which is in Fowler, Indiana, and it's supposedly haunted. So we went and we did an episode there. Now, we only did a 3-hour investigation because she literally came on Saturday. We filmed Saturday, and then we were planning on filming Sunday. And what happened was we had a location scheduled for Sunday for a month. Like, we scheduled it out. And then the week of my sister coming down here, I got contacted by the Fowler Theater because I had been trying to get into there for weeks. And they were like, hey, we had a cancellation. Do you want to come on Saturday? And that was the Saturday that my sister was coming. So my sister lives in Michigan, which is where my whole family's at. And I'm in Indiana. So I was like, let me ask my sister real quick. So I was like, are you sure that you want to drive 5 hours down here and then go to a location? And she was like, yeah. So I booked a 3-hour one. So this video that's coming up this week is a little bit shorter than our normal videos because the time that we stayed is not as long. So, but I'm super excited. So she will be in the Fowler Theater episode, and then she will also be in the following episode, which is, I'm super excited to show you guys because we got a lot of activity at that location, and I'm so willing and ready to do it again. So I have been talking to quite a few different YouTubers about doing collabs. I just wanted to ask you guys, how do you like your collabs? Like, do you want like one location on one person's channel and then a separate location on another person's like a second location on another person's channel? Like, do you like 2 locations for collabs? Or do you like one whole location and then seeing one channel's perspective and then seeing another channel's perspective? Like, how do you want to see that? Because I've been kind of debating on how I want to film that. Oh my gosh, you're new to the channel. Hi. I'm so excited that you're here. I don't even know how you found me. Again, I'm just so grateful that like people are finding the channel. And like, I don't know if you guys know this, but YouTube doesn't really cater to small channels. Like my friend Sabrina, if you guys are long-term watchers, or if you guys even just started like binge watching all my channel or like all my content, you'll see that I have a friend named Sabrina, and she used to be my camera girl. And Sabrina is featured probably in like 8 episodes of mine that I did when I first started my channel. And oh my God, I love Sabrina. Anyway, she just started her own channel. And YouTube kind of does this thing whenever you type and you're searching for somebody's channel, they make it difficult. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because a lot of people have channels and they want to be sure that like that's the channel that you're looking for. But basically, YouTube doesn't really recommend small channels like me. So to think that there are people here who are new to the channel, like, just, it's so crazy because I don't know how you found the channel. I don't know if you found it through YouTube or like if you follow me on Instagram or something like that. That's all I was wondering. Anyway, so I do have collabs coming up. I'm currently working. I don't want to give away too much. I think that's why I'm like looking over, because I'm like, what do I say? I'm currently working on at least 3 collabs right now. I have reached out to a couple different YouTubers, so maybe, I don't know. But I just wanted to do collabs because I feel like, I know I've been very careful about who I work with in the past, and I still kind of am careful, but I also want to kind of like branch out and meet people, because I love meeting you guys. I love meeting people. And delivery. Oh, thank you so much. I try not to copy Ghost Adventures, but I feel like Ghost Adventures was the main setup basis for how I was going to do my episodes, until I kind of got a feel for like what I wanted to present, or like what I wanted to do. Because when I started, I wasn't good at editing. I'll be very honest. I'm not I'm not great at editing. I'm still not. I'm still learning. And oh my gosh, it's so difficult to learn a new trait like right off the bat, and like on a time crunch too, because it was like whenever I would film, I'd be like, let's hurry up and get this episode done. And I didn't really give the time to kind of like appreciate or kind of like just learn how to do it slowly, so that way it was good. So it's like some of the episodes, and it's so frustrating because it's not like I can go back and film that stuff, you know? Like, I get one shot to film what I have. And it's not like I can set it up again and then do the same thing. Because when you're working with the paranormal, that stuff doesn't happen. So, like, when you get something good, you're like, oh, I hope I caught it. And then if you didn't catch it, like, you're shit out of luck, basically. I'm so glad that I was suggested to you. Okay, because you watch a lot of paranormal channels. Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, thank you so much. I love what I do. I don't know if you guys know that, but I do. I really do love it, which is why I do it. I'm not in it for the money. I don't make money. But yeah, I love doing it. I love traveling. I love meeting the people. Oh my gosh, the tour guides. They're such gems. Do you guys like fall in love with somebody like a tour guide when you guys are watching the videos and you're just like, oh my gosh, you're so sweet. I love you so much. Like some of these people, like I meet them and I'm like, oh my gosh, I keep contact with a lot of the tour guides that I meet. Mike from Rhodes Hotel, I talk to him a lot. I also did, okay, you guys probably didn't see it. No, you didn't. Okay. I did West Virginia Penn back in the day when I kind of like first started. And I don't know if you noticed, but like I have EVPs up from West Virginia Penn, but I don't have a full investigation. And that's because there are private and public investigations in the community world. And West Virginia Penn, a private investigation is like $1,000, and I really couldn't afford that at the time. So I was like, let's do the public, see what happens, just because I wanted the experience. And I met Ryan from Paranormal Quest, and he's so sweet. And I talk to him every once in a while, which is cool. And then I also met, who did I meet? Colin Brown from Paranormal Files. I met him not on a tour. He just happened to be in my area, and I don't know, he like posted a picture and of like where he was at, and I was like, hey, that's right down the road from me. And he was like, hey, you want to meet up and like have lunch? And I was like, okay. So I met him. I've met Nick Roth. He's super sweet. Oh my God, I love him so much. He's so genuine too. And the funny thing is, like, I'll talk to him. Well, I wouldn't say talk. Okay. So like I'll comment on his stuff every once in a while, and he'll comment back like he'll mention the story that I told him when I actually met him physically in person. So for him to be able to remember that is just so crazy. And I'm like, oh my God. Am I special? Probably not, but that makes me feel special, which is great to have that connection. And I hope that one day I have a super mind and a super connection with you guys like that, because I talk to so many of you guys and I love talking to you guys, but sometimes it's a bit overwhelming because there are so many of you. And I'm like, oh my God, like we may have talked like a couple months ago, and I try to remember people, but then like if you guys change your like profile picture, I might not remember. So I'm like, I feel like such a loser because I don't remember, but I talk to so many people, you guys, like all the time. I keep my messages open to anybody who wants to contact me, and I do that for a reason. So I do that because previously I've talked about having issues with the paranormal when I was younger, and I didn't have anybody to turn to when I had that attachment. So I keep my messages open so that way if anybody has issues with the paranormal, they can message me. So literally, like, I will wake up out of the dead sleep and just check my messages. So if I text you, like if I message you guys back at a weird time, that is why. It's not because like I'm a party animal and I stay up all night. It's literally because like that's the first thing on my mind. So first thing I do when I wake up is I check my Instagram. I check all my messages. I make sure that nobody's having any sort of like paranormal emergency. I don't know how you would even put that, because I've worked with people right now. I'm working with a lady who, and yeah, this is like some of it that you guys don't see. I talk a lot on Reddit. I try to give advice on Reddit and stuff. And I give advice on my channel and advice on my Instagram. And that's what I primarily work on. But I'm talking to a lady right now who has a pretty severe case on Reddit. And she doesn't live anywhere close to me. She lives in the UK, or I don't know, somewhere overseas, which is like pretty far from me. So I do like worry about her, and but I don't think I don't want to give away her situation because I don't know if she wants that out there. But yeah, so I always keep my messages open, and I really told myself that I was going to keep my messages open, like regardless of how, like, if the channel blows up or whatever, I will always keep my messages open because one, I love talking to you guys, and two, I do want to have that direct contact with people that do need help. Now, some things that make leaving my messages open very hard is when people like, send me dick pics, or like they'll just chat me up and they'll be like, oh, are you with somebody? And I'll tell them yes. And then they'll bug me about like a date for the next like week. So I'll usually have to like sift through my messages and I'll have to block who I have to block. But like, I'm getting better at it now. At first, it was kind of overwhelming because I had never had that attention before, like a social media presence or anything like that. Like I wasn't like that. I maybe got like 10 likes a picture when I was on Facebook. So like when I came to Instagram and I started doing things on Instagram, I was like, wow, there are so many people who want to talk to me. Like, that's super crazy. And I wasn't used to like guys shooting their shot. Like, I don't know, but now I'm getting used to it. So like, it was pretty overwhelming at first. I was like, oh my God. There's so many people. And I was like, man, I understand why celebrities don't have their messages open. Like, yeah, for every like one genuine person who actually wants to have a conversation with you, you've got 10 people who are like trying to get with you. So it's super crazy, but I'm getting really good at like sifting through people and like, like swerving people, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I'm super excited because Sabrina, like I mentioned, does have a channel. So if you guys love Sabrina, which I do, she has a channel. She's working with a haunted doll right now, which is super cool. I don't know if she's in this live chat. She probably isn't because she's probably at work. Boring. But she is dealing with a haunted doll right now, and she's having crazy, crazy things happen to her. So if you guys want to check that out, go over to her YouTube channel. I honestly don't. I think it's called Brina Paranormal, and it's capital letters Brina and then paranormal. But like I said, YouTube's very finicky. It doesn't really support small channels. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's against small channels, but small channels don't get the attention that they deserve. So that's why I love watching like different things. Like I've been watching Skulls and Kittens a lot lately. So look for a collab maybe. So I've been watching a lot of smaller channels because I love sharing the love. And, you know, like there are so many of you guys out there who just love what I put out there. So I'm trying to give it back to the community. I'm really trying. So I will spend some of my spare time watching other people. That's not really something that I used to do. That's something that I'm kind of doing now. I also watch channels and I help give them advice, even though I'm literally in no position to be giving advice. I don't know. I'm kind of just winging it, to be honest. I probably shouldn't say that. I'm not like winging it like so badly, but sometimes I'll like, I have a big planner. It's not in here, but I'll like plan everything out, and there'll be like 1 week where like I won't have anything planned, and I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out, and I'll be like a month out, and I'll be like, oh, I'll figure it out, it'll be okay. And then 2 weeks rolls around, I'm like, it's okay. I probably should start doing something. And then like the week of, I'll panic, and I'll be like, what was I supposed to do? It's so crazy. I don't know. That's just like, you know, sometimes it can be overwhelming. Planning and editing and you know, like trying to make sure that you're hitting all those things consistently. And it really is like having a full-time job. It really is. And I know that like that sounds so stupid for somebody who doesn't have a YouTube channel, but just all the work that constantly goes into it. Like, and I count checking my Instagram as part of the work because like it's self-promotion and things like that. So yeah, you've pretty much dropped all other channels. I get weird vibes from most channels. A fake vibe. Listen. Listen. That's why I don't really watch too many channels anymore, is because when I watch it, I don't feel like, okay, so I guess you have to look at it from my perspective. I'm somebody that goes out, I'm somebody that films, I'm somebody who goes and does real things, and I'm trying to show you guys, like, I'm trying to incorporate that into the investigation. Like a majority of the time when we're just sitting there not doing anything. It's hard to do though, because I feel like sometimes people don't want to watch that. So I'm trying to mix it in kind of like, and it's hard to keep that balance. But yeah, sometimes I'll watch channels and I'll be like, you know what? Like, I don't feel like you're being straight with me. Or like sometimes their story will be a little like far-fetched. And I'm like, I've been in the field. I don't think that that's accurate, but I don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like there are just so many people out there who are just trying to be something that they're not. And I think that's why I'm showing love to small channels right now, is because like small channels really don't have a reason to like lie, I guess. I don't know, because I don't want to say that that like every small channel doesn't like fake evidence or something like that. But I think that's also why, like, not only am I selective with who I work with, I'm selective about who I watch. And it's because I don't want to give watch time to people who aren't being authentic and to people who are like faking evidence, because that's not good for the community. And I've said that multiple times before, that I don't like people who do that. But yeah, I've never been around any paranormal evidence, so I'm a big skeptic. But the few videos of yours seem to be genuine and honest. Thank you so much. I am also, you know, the funny thing is I'm also like semi-skeptical too. Does that sound funny? Like, okay, so I'm very selective about what I watch because I don't want to be tricked into believing something. And the biggest thing that I noticed for me anyway was like, okay, so when I would watch Ghost Adventures is very pushy. Like, and I'm not coming for Ghost Adventures at all. No, but this is something that I've noticed. Ghost Adventures is very pushy. They'll show you something and then they'll be like, is this the voice of the man who used to reside here and he stabbed his wife or something like that? They're like planting this idea in your head instead of letting you organically come up with that idea. And I think that that's why sometimes shows can be overwhelming to people who are skeptical. And I noticed that because I'm semi-skeptical, sometimes I would just like roll my eyes and be like, that's not what it is. Or like, And I really thought, why don't you let people just come up with the determination, or like come up with what they think it is, instead of trying to cram it down their throat. And that's really what the basis of my channel, like when I was editing, I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to plant an idea in somebody's head. I'm going to let it flow organically, as if you were on the investigation with me, bringing your skeptic mind and doing it there with me. And if you think that it's, paranormal, that's great for you. And if you don't think that it is, then that's also great. There's no reason why everything has to be paranormal. And that was my biggest pet peeve when it came to TV shows. And I was like, if I do go through with this and I do make my YouTube channel and I'm trying to educate people, I really want people to understand that paranormal doesn't happen all the time, and not everything that you see is paranormal. So I'm glad that you mentioned that you are a skeptic, and I think it's perfectly okay to be a skeptic, loving the paranormal. That's good. I think that it's good to question, if something is authentic, or, if something could be something else. Because when you are jumping to the conclusion that everything is automatically paranormal, it's kind of hurtful. Without going through that process of debunking and using like natural science, you're kind of hurting the community. And I'm sorry, I went on a big rant there, but it's just, I really do. I feel the same. Yeah, I'm not talking like I have a script, because I don't have a script. And actually, Matt, I know you in person. So, right? I think you're the Matt that I used to work with. So if you're not, just, I don't know. But yeah, it's because it's not scripted. Like, everything is right there on the fly. Like, you don't see it, but a lot of the times I say dumb shit. So like, if I don't like what I say, I will edit it out. Yeah, I don't have a script. Everything, like, so what I will do is I will come up with a plan in my head as far as what I'm going to do. So usually the setup is I go in, I meet the person real quick. I tell them, like, I get some details from them as far as like how long the investigation lasts, or like, I pay up. A lot of places make you sign a waiver. So I do that real quick, and then they'll go, oh, are you ready for the tour? And I'll go, yeah. And I'll pull out my stuff. I'll film the whole tour. And then, sometimes they lock up and they leave. And then sometimes there has to be a person on site with you. And they'll be like, I'll be in this room over here or whatever. And that's what I'll do. And then I'll go based off of the tour. So I'll go to wherever I feel is the heaviest, or like has a bad vibe or whatever. And that's where I start. And then I'll move from room to room, and I'll go, okay, well, this is the room that I want to hit. And then I'll turn on my portal device or my spirit box or whatever I have. And then I'll go from there. It's really like, when I said that I'm winging it, I'm really winging it. Like, that's what I do on investigations. I don't, like, I might have a plan of attack as far as like, like maybe I'll do the second floor first and then do the first floor or whatever. But as far as it being like scripted, or like making sure that I'm saying something, like, that's not at all what it is. So, hi, KK Bootsy. I hope I say, like, I've been so nervous about saying your guys' names, because I've been like, what if I butcher them? But honestly, like, I'm going to try. Okay. So, Metabuga Head says, when channels show activity, lulls it come across as real. Honestly, comes across in all platforms. Yeah. B-Dank Dog says, hello, beautiful. That's B-Tank, not B-Dank. Yeah. Okay, so you are the Matt. Okay, hello, Matt. I haven't talked to you in forever. How are you doing? So everybody give Matt a hi. I used to work with Matt. He's a great person. A little crazy, though. But I think you do a great job of being open to skeptics, but also providing an entertaining watch. Yeah, because I'm semi-skeptical. So I feel like, as somebody who is semi-skeptical about things, I don't want something to be crammed down my throat. I don't want to be forced to think a certain way. And I really try to give people the freedom to openly think the way that they want to. And I've had people tell me that they love the fact that I will present something and be like, what do you guys think? I think that somebody, oh my gosh, I'm talking so much. I think that somebody who is not being, I don't know. I think that somebody who is like searching for views, or somebody who is like maybe just not being real, would be like, okay, well, this is the way that it is, and kind of like not asking. But because I'm a paranormal investigator, and because like I want to see, because a lot of you guys are paranormal investigators as well, I want to see what you guys think. Like, and I feel like that's a very important part of the channel itself, is coming up with these conclusions with you guys, because like I can't do that on the spot, like when I'm editing, because sometimes I'll be split. I'll be like, my skeptical side says that maybe is like not what I think it is, and then my paranormal loving side thinks that this is paranormal. But like I have to find that balance and not be too biased. I think the biggest weakness of all shows is a failure to talk about theory behind the methods. I think, yeah, they don't mention like how something works, or like why they're doing what they're doing. I try to. You guys also have to remember that when I'm filming, I'm either like in the zone, or like I'm really tired. Like this next episode that you guys are going to see is the Fowler Theater, and I honestly was really tired that whole time, and it's hard to film when you're tired. So like sometimes you're not really thinking about that. So I do apologize if I do something and I don't explain why I'm doing it, but just know that like I try to, but sometimes it doesn't always. I forget that some people don't watch every single episode. So like if I explain how the SLS camera works, or if I explain why I don't particularly like the SLS camera, I might do it in one episode, but not necessarily in all episodes, because I don't want to feel like I'm just repeating myself all the time. I don't want people to get bored with me and think that like, hey, like she really doesn't believe in that. I know, like, and then like roll your eyes when I'm explaining it. I really want there to be a connection. So like, if I don't explain something, I'm really sorry. I just get really tired. And like you'll see again in this next episode, we pretty much, you know when you're like so tired, you get that like burst of energy and you just act like freaking crazy to keep yourself up. That's what happened. And to be honest, I really tried to edit out the parts where like we were acting like dumb as shit, but it's really hard to do. So not all haunted places have activity all the time. Yeah, and I really try to show you guys that a majority, so like a lot of the times when I'm filming, I'm there for probably about 5 hours. TV shows usually get a longer amount of time. TV shows typically will book it for anywhere from a couple nights to maybe a whole week. And just because they get a lot of evidence doesn't necessarily mean that that's all shot in one night. And I think that's why people are like, how are you getting so much evidence? Like, I think that's why people are skeptical of shows too. So like, I do understand that, but I think they really should show the side of them, like, because I'll go for 5 hours, depending on where I'm at. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, because I'm kind of on a time restraint because I have kids. So most of the time I film for 5 hours. And you might only necessarily see an hour of what happened. And that's because that's all that happened. The rest of the time was me gathering my equipment, me changing batteries, me going to the bathroom, me taking a small break and making sure that I got the film ready, or making sure that I have space on my phone to film. So like, or like me just trying to get evidence to happen, or coming up with a plan. Like a lot of the time I'm not actually doing something, like, and I don't know if I'm doing a good job portraying that or not. You guys will have to let me know. That's why the newer episodes are significantly longer than the older episodes. Also, it's easier to edit. So yeah. So explain why spirit boxes work. If ghosts talk through radio, why don't we hear them all the time? That is a good question. I'm semi-skeptical about spirit boxes to begin with. Basically, what happens is there is this white noise that is basically between radio stations. So when you sweep, you're picking up that white noise, and it's said that they can speak through that white noise. Now, I don't know exactly how, and I think that's why, like, part of it is why I'm semi-skeptical. I know that there have been times when I will ask a direct question and I will get a exact direct answer. You can hear it through the spirit box. It's clear as day, and it's like seconds after I answer. So I think that's part of why I do believe that sometimes spirit boxes do work. And then part of me does believe that maybe it's like some sort of pseudoscience where like you're hearing what you want to hear. But I know that there have been a few times when I'm like, that was exactly what I was looking for. And I'm not like, it's not just me that's hearing it. So can they speak all the time? I'm guessing that they could if they wanted to. See, the thing is, like, don't quote me because I'm not an expert. There are no experts in this field because nothing of what I'm saying is proven. Nothing about spirits is proven. So if somebody says that they're an expert, like, I really want you to look at them and think, like, how are you an expert in the field? If nothing is proven. And everything is based off of theory. So basically, in theory, they should be able to. But supposedly, it takes a lot of energy for them to do so. Now, I don't know how much of that I believe. I don't know how much of that I can test. So, I mean, I guess in theory, the spirit box is easier for them to use. I think that's why I would just rather go with an EVP recorder than do a spirit box. But I don't want to be lame and do the same things over and over again. And I really do want to show you guys some variety in like equipment and showing you how it works and stuff. That's why I got a portal device, is because the static noise of the spirit box was really bothering to me. I'd sit for hours and I'd edit and it would just give me a headache, and it was so frustrating. So the portal device, yeah, it was $350. It does quiet down that spirit box so it's not so annoying. And I think I'm still getting used to how it works. But yeah, I don't know. Those are great questions. And those are kind of questions that I have too. So I'm sorry if I wasn't able to answer them for you. If any of you guys have questions, ask them and I will answer them right now. So I think your editing is very good. Thank you so much. I'm a noob when it comes to editing. If I want to do something special, like if I want to insert like a 2-second clip of something, like I didn't know how to do that. So I had to look it up, and it's very overwhelming for somebody who's just starting. Now that I've kind of been doing it for like a year or so, I kind of know how to do a decent amount of things, but like I have a crappy editor. So like my editing software, I have a crappy editing software. I'm the crappy editor. But yeah, I'll just have to look up something if I need to do it. So I went to a place for a few weeks ago. I didn't get anything or feel anything until I went home and listened to the recording. She answered most of the questions then as well. Oh, that's so cool. I get more aggressive. And the ghost was getting angry. Yeah, sometimes you can use that method. I personally am not like that, but that's okay. Like, I don't think there's anything like wrong with it. Especially when it's well-deserved. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the Indiana State Sanatorium episode when we were constantly like getting told to get out. And it's kind of frustrating because like I wouldn't let somebody bully me in real life, so I'm not going to let a spirit do it. But I'm also not going to be like, oh, shame on your mama or something like that. Why was that the first like comeback that I thought of for like a ghost? But a radio doesn't produce white noise. It produces snatches of voice and noises. Our mind is programmed to put together those in rational data. Rational data. I call shenanigans. Yeah, I can kind of see that. White noise is supposedly, it's not the radio itself. I don't know. I'm digging myself a hole here. I think it's just the frequency between the radio stations. I don't know for sure. That might be something that would be better asked like on Reddit or something like that. I think like me, myself, again, I don't overly like Spirit Box, but I still use it because I want to show you guys the variety and tools and things like that. So Oh, you went back to the cemetery that I showed you too. That's so cool. Let's see. If you have a religious belief, how does that influence your investigation? Different people do different things because different people have different religious beliefs. Now, I'll be very honest, I don't have a religious belief. Sorry. I'm talking so much that like I'm choking on my own spit. Let's see. I don't have a religious belief. I really don't know what I believe in. Back when I was younger, I practiced, well, I was a Wiccan for a little while. So that's what I did. I did look into different things. I was intrigued by Satanism for a little while. Now I know that people will probably unclick and unsubscribe because of that, but it's not what you think it is. A lot of people don't like things that they can't understand. And the unfortunate thing is, just like with the paranormal, with Satanism, TV shows kind of exaggerate that. Not saying that there isn't crazy Satanists out there, but there are also crazy Christians out there. So, but basically, they have a list of 10 commandments or like 10 rules that they live by too, at least for the portion that I was looking into. I forget what kind of Satanism it is, but basically there's a list of 10 things that you're not allowed to do. So you're not allowed to sexually advance yourself onto somebody without them showing consent. You're not allowed to steal something from somebody unless if it benefits them. So like, I don't know, let's say like they had a whole pile of drugs and you wanted them off of drugs and they wouldn't stop. Like you're allowed to steal that from them. Like, I think the thing that I liked about that type of religion is it kind of cleared up some gray area, but that Wicca did have, because there was a lot of gray area in Wicca where like, even if you had good intentions, if you were doing something, it was still wrong. And I think that I didn't like that. But since I've been doing all of these investigations, I don't have a religious belief, but some people will use it to their advantage, and then some people don't use it at all. I think the biggest thing that people do is they will like pray or something before an investigation to kind of like keep themselves safe. And I think that's how most of it should tie in. I don't think that you should really throw religion too much into investigations. Mostly because I think science should be the bigger portion. I don't know, something like that. Ghosts can affect our mental health. I've never had, well, no, I can't say that I never have, because my attachment kind of did. Yeah, so I do agree with that. You should get a drink of water. I should, but my kitchen's all the way on the other side. Since you don't, but your boyfriend kind of does it affect how you feel? Oh, about my religious belief. Yeah, because you know my boyfriend. Let's see. He does have a religious belief. I don't know if he would want me to talk about his religious belief on here. I know that he, in the past, has been very judged based on his religious belief, and I think that that's ridiculous that you would not like somebody because of their religion. I think that's also why, like, I get so angry when people are like, "Oh, Satanism," and then they're like, "I'm not talking to you because you're a Satanist," or "You're not allowed to come here because you're a Satanist," and I really connected with that at one point. But yeah, it can be semi-frustrating because, like, okay, so the whole Ouija board thing. How do I explain this without like outing him? Basically, when we did the Ouija board thing, he was like, "Oh, you have to call upon the spirits and you have to do this and you have to do that." And I'm like, "Why do I have to do that?" And he was saying that it was for like his religious belief. And he's like, "If you don't do it, you're disrespecting my religious belief." And I was like, that's not at all what I'm trying to do. Like, and I think that's why I kind of hesitated when, because there was a period of time where I was trying to film the Ouija board video, and I didn't end up filming, and I quit filming because, like, he said that he was severely offended that I wasn't doing things properly and things like that. And that was really sad to me because I would never tell him that his religion wasn't valid or anything like that. And a lot of people have asked me to try to do like seances, but that also kind of pertains to religion. Like normally in the beginning of a seance, you will have to call upon spirits or call upon your deities that you believe in and things like that. And I don't want to say like I don't believe in seances or something like online and people be like, oh, well, you don't believe in my God or things like that. So I think that's why I haven't done the whole seance thing, is because I don't want anybody to feel attacked. Like, especially if we go with a certain deity or whatever, we don't go with another one. I don't want people to feel like I'm I don't know. I just don't want people to feel upset about that. But I don't think that it affects the way that I conduct my investigations as far as his belief, but I do know that we have argued about some of those things before, because he was kind of upset that I basically didn't believe, like I didn't have a religion anymore. But it's just, I don't know. I think with everything that I've experienced with the paranormal, I question too much, and that's my problem. So I wonder why all ghost hunters become demon hunters. I don't know. I really don't know, because like, okay, so back to the whole, like this ties in with the whole religion thing. Like, I don't even know if I believe in demons. And it's because if I believe in demons, then I have to believe in God, right? Or at least you think, right? So I don't know. Like, I know the Monroe house, they were saying that there are claims that it's also a demon house, which is why I put demon house in the tag for the title. But do I believe that it was a demon? I don't know, because I'd really like to see more proof to that. And I know we've talked in the past about different things. So I know the Vatican has put out, because they were doing they do exorcisms and stuff like that. I hope I'm getting my information right. Again, I'm not religious, so I'm not sure if that's the correct one. But they were putting out, like, they were having to do exorcisms, and they put out a checklist, and it had 8 or 10 items on it. I don't remember, but you basically had to meet like 80% of those symptoms that they had for them to even consider coming out and trying to help you. Because they said that basically there's a fine line between demons and mental health issues. So I think that's why they put that list out, is so that way you could kind of determine, like, do I have a mental health issue or am I dealing with demons? So yeah, and also it's so popularized to, like, for, I don't know, investigators, it's like the first thing that they think. They're like, oh, it's a demon. And it's because it gets people watching, in my opinion. So I don't know if I really believe in demons. I'm not saying that they couldn't exist. I'm just saying that I think that's something that I kind of have to consider, and maybe I'd have to experience myself to wholeheartedly believe. But that's just me. Is there still a ghost attached to you? No, there is not still a ghost attached to me. Whatever spirit, entity, negative space thing that I had was when I was 15. If you watched my video, I have a video where I tell a story time, which is basically me just talking about my attachment and how it affected me and kind of the things that I dealt with when I had it. But I'd say I had that for maybe a year and a half. I can't really put like a timestamp on it, because it's not like, as soon as it goes away, you get a notice from the notary. It's like, it's something that you kind of have to observe. And it was something that kind of went away slowly, like with time. But I definitely don't have it anymore. Gotta go to work. Oh, I'm so happy that you were here. Thanks for stopping by. My hands were going at the same time. Bye, Matt. I hope you have a nice day. Have fun at work, Matt. Yes, have fun at work. Are there any places you think it is inappropriate to hunt for ghosts? Inappropriate. Let me think. I know that we've talked in the past, if you've watched all my videos, I did that thing where, because we had talked so much about John Dillinger, and it just so happened that he was buried in the city that I live in, that I went and I looked for his grave, and I did find it. That's up, so if you want to watch that. But I just felt like it's not overly appropriate to do an investigation in a cemetery. Now, I will say that I do kind of have a cemetery coming up, and that was because I was invited by somebody else to go. Now, oh, you once did EMF at Gettysburg and you felt like it was kind of inappropriate. Yeah, I could understand like feeling like it was inappropriate. I think a church would kind of be inappropriate. Not necessarily like a chapel that's connected to something, but like maybe like an active church, like somewhere where people are still worshiping, and you go to a church. Maybe that would be inappropriate because it's kind of like somebody's like safe space to an extent. So I don't know. I think a church would feel really weird, but maybe that's just because I'm not somebody who's religious. I think cemeteries and graveyards are kind of slightly inappropriate. I think it just depends on what you do. So like I said, I do have a collab coming up at a cemetery because I got invited to go, not necessarily because that was something that I was looking at. So I think I'm just going to have to be very careful about how I do it because I do feel like cemeteries are slightly inappropriate. Oh, lots of EMF hits at Gettysburg. Yeah, I haven't done Gettysburg yet. So last year, I did a giveaway for somebody to come and investigate with me. So let me know if you guys want another giveaway where you guys can come and investigate with me. And you will be featured on the channel, by the way. So I gave it away around Christmas time. And a nice lady named Rebecca had won it. And we were talking, and I told her that she could pick anywhere that she wanted to go. And I would pay for it within reason. So I think it had to be under $300 or $300 and under or whatever. And that I would pay for the location and that she could come meet me. We would film together and it would go up on YouTube. And sweet little Rebecca picked Gettysburg because, I mean, daytime is free. And they do allow people to go at nighttime, but there's like a series of like hoops that you have to jump through. Yes, a concentration camp would probably be inappropriate. Yeah, okay, see, like, I didn't know what that meant, so that makes sense. First time I have made a live stream here. Well, Haunted by Haunted, welcome. I'm so glad you could make it. So what were we talking about? Oh, anyway, so sweet Rebecca had won the investigation that I was giving away, so she was coming with me to film, and she picked Gettysburg. And, like, something happened, and literally, like, I don't know, like 4 months, 2 or 3 months, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, months after she had won it, I had to move. So it's been very hard to try to like make it all the way back out to Gettysburg to film with her. But I promise her that I will film with her at some point. I just don't know how quickly I can like make it out because now I'm on a schedule for like my kids and stuff. So what was the scariest encounter? Sorry if you've been asked before. I get asked this a lot. It's quite frequently my most frequently asked question. Now, I think scariest encounter or like scariest investigation would have to go to the Monroe House one. That one was really scary for me. That's the only time I've ever had to get up and leave because I was concerned for my safety. If you haven't watched that episode, I highly suggest watching that episode. That was a crazy episode. And I know that like going back and watching it now, I'm like, why did I leave? Because like there not that much stuff was happening, but it was just so overwhelming the way that I was feeling physically and mentally. And that's something that you can't really, it's very, very hard to explain in the moment to the camera. And like, if you were there physically, I think you would understand, but because you weren't, like people don't really understand like that. So, yeah, that was definitely the scariest place I have gone. Now, the scariest encounter. So basically, what happened was I was feeling very, very overwhelmed with the way that I was feeling. There was a female who committed suicide upstairs. And I had sat down because I put my audio recorder in the living room and I was just going to let it roll when I was on the other side of the house. And I sat down for, I don't remember how long I sat down. 10 minutes. I don't know, a half hour. I really don't remember. But I had sat down and I remember just feeling like I wanted to cry. Like I felt shameful and guilty, and like I was being accused of all these things that like weren't something that I did, or like, and I was super sad and like depressed, and I almost started crying like right then and there. And I'm not somebody who likes to cry about anything. I think I haven't cried at all in the past couple of years. I think the only time I cried was when my dog died last year. So for me, that was like really, really strange. So I could identify right off the bat that this was not me that I was feeling, because I don't feel things like that. I try to be very positive about everything in my life. So that was like the whole other spectrum. And it was, yeah, I was like, that's not me. So I tried fighting it for a little while and sticking out the investigation. And I just increasingly, it felt like a warning to me to like get out. And I did follow that. I ended up leaving. I got in my car and there were flies in my car, which I thought was really weird because like none of my windows were down. It didn't make sense to me because I had just drove an hour and a half to be there. There wasn't flies in my car then. And then, like, I don't know, sometime, like, I was only in the house for like 2 hours. I think that's how long I was there. And by the time I got back in my car, there were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 flies in my car. And I was like, that's just really strange. But, so the scariest thing that has ever happened, and this is scary, and it's quite funny because I wasn't physically there. So what happened was, basically when I left in a hurry. I did. And yeah, smoke detector, chirp, yes, it needs to be replaced. I've been putting it off for like a friggin' week. I will replace it after we're done. And anyway, so basically I left in a hurry and I accidentally left a flashlight there. So the next morning, what I'll do is usually after an investigation, I will unpack everything and I will kind of like put it back in its place. I have a tote over here and I will kind of like keep it nice and orderly. And I was going through everything and I noticed that my flashlight was gone. So my flashlight is a special IR light that works with my camera. So my camera was $300 and it came in a set with this flashlight. So I sent the owner a quick text. I was like, hey, by the way, I left my flashlight, or I think I left my flashlight. Can you check and see? And he said, I'll be out there today. Literally the very next morning, he said, I will be out there today and I will check it. So only like, at this point, only like 12 hours had gone by. I don't know, something like that. So he texted me back and he said, hey, I was just here. I don't see it. Do you know where you left it? And I said, well, I think maybe I left it on the table in the Art of the Seance room. He has because he's turning the building into a museum. And he said, okay, I'll check. He texts me back. He says he doesn't see it. So a few days go by. He said he'll tell me when he finds it. So a few days go by. I'm sorry, this story takes forever. So a few days go by. I'm editing, and I'm to the end of the episode, and I have a video of me walking away and packing everything up, me grabbing my camera, packing everything up and leaving. And I leave this flashlight on the table that I said that it was at. And I'm like, that's really strange that it's not there. So I'm thinking like maybe he didn't see it, like maybe he misunderstood what I was saying or something like that. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. So a few weeks go by and I'm debating on buying another flashlight because I need one to film. So I try looking up online to see if I can find this flashlight on Amazon because that's where I bought the camera. I cannot find this same flashlight, but I find other flashlights. And I'm like, no, I want this specific flashlight because I had to buy 18650 batteries for this flashlight, which are vape batteries, by the way. They're like $20. So I'm like, I need this specific flashlight because I don't want to buy other batteries. So a few weeks go by and he's like, hey, by the way, I found your flashlight. Okay, cool. So at this point, everybody loves the Monroe House episode. Everybody's talking about it. They're like, wow, that was a crazy ass episode, which it was. And people kept asking, they were reaching out to me asking questions about the house. And I'm like, I really don't know. I'm sorry that I don't know. Like, I feel like I should know, but I don't. Let me ask the owner. So I'm talking to the owner and I'm like, hey, there's a bunch of people who have questions about the Monroe House. Is there any way that we can do like a sit down interview and I'll ask you questions about the Monroe House? And he's like, yeah, sure, we can do that. So we sit down, we do that interview. And during the interview, we're talking about, I don't know how we got on this topic. We're talking about the crawl space or something. And he goes, hey, how did you get in the crawl space? And I'm like, I didn't go in the crawl space. Like, why would you think that I went in the crawl space? And he said, oh, well, that's where they found your flashlight. And I'm like, hell no, they did not find this flashlight. And you can see on our face, like, he genuinely thought that I was lying to him. And then I went and crawled in the crawl space and left my flashlight in there. But then when he starts to think about it, you can see he's like, wait. He says that what he did is because if you guys watch Paranormal Lockdown, the Monroe House was on Paranormal Lockdown. And that was the one that Nick actually found human remains in the crawl space. So when that episode aired, everybody wanted to go to the Monroe House and crawl in the crawl space. And Eddie, the owner, said that he got tired of everybody losing stuff in the crawl space or like getting stuck in the crawl space or like just, he said it was just too much. So he actually put up a wood wall that runs the whole length, almost the whole length of the house. And he said what he did was he put an L at the end of it. So if you want to go in the crawl space, you have to crawl down and around the corner. And he said at the end of the corner, there's a wooden door that has wood screws in it. And he said that the flashlight was found on the other side of that door, all the way in the corner of the crawl space. And I honestly don't know how the hell it got all the way over there. And to think about it just gives me goosebumps. I don't know how something physical can move all the way down, because we were up on the main floor and the crawl space is in the basement. So you have to go down a flight of stairs and then it's got to go in the crawl space. It's got to open a door and then go on the other side. Like that, to me, that was just too much. It makes me sad that I didn't catch it. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know how that literally blows my mind. I don't know how it could go. And you can watch the video where I find out that my flashlight is down there. And you can see on both of mine and Eddie's face that we're like, what the fuck? Like, I know that he's not lying and he knows that I'm not lying. And you can see the genuine like fear from both of us that this house is capable of doing something physical and moving something like an object all the way in this crawl space. And that is the scariest thing that has ever happened to me. And I'm sorry that took so long, but it's super crazy. And a lot of people didn't even realize that it happened because the interview itself, I let it play out organically, just like it did. So the interview itself was like, I don't know, maybe an hour long. So a lot of people didn't watch that. And I didn't find that out till the end, which is kind of crazy. So a lot of people don't even know that happened. But if you go back and you watch that, you've been checking your smoke detector for the last hour. So yeah, it was so crazy to think, I don't know, that something physical could move. And that it really scared me because I was like, what would have happened if I would have stayed? Like if I would have been ignorant to the way that I was feeling and I would have stayed in that house, like would something have physically harmed me? And that's something that did bother me for, I'd say probably a couple months. I was like, wow, I don't know what happened. And, like me and my boyfriend talked about the whole like flashlight thing for a long time. I still bring it up sometimes. I'm like, damn, that flashlight. But yeah, I feel like the flashlight story didn't get a whole lot of light because it was buried underneath the whole interview thing. So if you are a fan of the Monroe House itself or the Monroe House episode, watching the interview will connect so many dots for you. I highly, highly suggest it. There's a ton of malicious history for this house. and it really, really surprised me, the stories that Eddie was telling me. And some of it was so bad that I had to cut some of it. That he, I mean, Eddie's such a nice person, and he was like, hey, I don't want this mentioned in the video, so I didn't mention it. And that's the first time I've ever said that, but like, I respect that from Eddie. I'm sorry, I've been talking so long. If you come to Europe, we will take you to the Roman Colosseum, where we had tons of EMF hits, and my dog acted very strange. I would love to come to Europe, but that costs money. I'm not really like financially stable to like travel super far. Hopefully if the channel does get like really busy and like really big, I will be able to afford stuff like that. That would be super cool. I'd love to travel around the world to do that. Yes, it was my smoke detector. Ever experienced some ghost or spirit manifest your emotions during investigation? So I don't. So like I did have that experience that I was just talking about at the mineral house, where I was feeling emotions that weren't my emotions. But have I ever had something reflecting the emotions that I experience at an investigation? I don't know. I don't think so. I would love to investigate the Monroe house, a bit far away from Pittsburgh area where I'm from. Well, I'm so cool that you are here on this channel. I'm so cool. I'm so happy that you're here. Because I used to live in Newcastle, which is the home of Hillview Manor, which is why I did Hillview Manor so much. And I feel bad because I never gave Hillview Manor like a justice episode. Like I never did it full justice, because the Hillview Manor is so complicated. I love Hillview Manor though. And I had been so many times, but I had never done an episode of Hillview Manor like I did episodes of other places. So I think I do need to go back and do a Hillview Manor episode. But that's so cool that you're from Pittsburgh. I've been to Pittsburgh a couple times. My daughter was really sick, so she stayed in the Children's Hospital there. Super nice. Great. Have an important fishing appointment. Do not miss your fishing appointment, okay? Love the channel. Keep doing what you're doing. Oh, thank you. Well, you have a nice day too. Have fun at your fishing appointment. Yes, my smoke detector is still going on. Yes, asylum inmates. Yeah, so I'm still having issues on like coming up with a name for people who follow the channel. Like, what do we call them? I don't know, because I think I've mentioned it before in an episode and people were coming up with some great things, but I just want something that clicks. I don't know. All right. And Hillview Manor is an awesome place. Been there 7 or 8 times, lost count. Same. I've been there quite a few different times. I've been there both on a private and public investigations. And I've also hosted at Hillview Manor too, which is pretty cool. So hosting is basically when you will sponsor. I don't think sponsor is the right word. You will basically, they'll be like, hey, Amber's Asylum's going to be here. Or like, Nick Groff's going to be here. And people will buy tickets for Nick Groff and not me. But basically, you sell tickets. You help boost them, basically. And a lot of the times, you will get like a kickback or you'll make some money off of it. Hillview was the first one that I did, my first hosting event. And I was so gracious that they allowed me to host. And we did it as a fundraiser for the One North roof, because their roof was leaking and it was really bad and needed to be fixed. So I actually donated everything that I made from that night. So, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so that's super crazy. But yeah, what am I even talking about? So I will be hosting places very soon. So when the channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I will be hosting, and then you guys can come and investigate with me, which will be really cool. I really wish they would do some basic maintenance. Yeah. From my understanding, the person who owned the person who owned it prior to the owner now didn't put any money into it. The owner now is, I've met her a few times. She's very nice lady. So hopefully she will do some of that. I do know that I think they did fix the roof. I have a friend, his name is Sage, and he goes there a lot. And he kind of did the same thing. Like, he did a sponsor event, and they made a lot of money from the event that he did, which is super cool. So I'm really proud of him for that. And he's so proud of it too. I love that. But yeah, so I'll be doing tours, like I'll be hosting events. I really think that we are going to do Indiana State Sanatorium. So if you guys want to come investigate with me, be on the lookout for that, because once the channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing that. And then you guys can come and investigate with me, and we can chill together, and we can hang out, and we can take cute pictures or whatever. I'll show you guys my equipment and things like that. But oh my gosh, I've been talking for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Do you see, like, that's so funny. Do you see how, like, I could literally, like, talk for hours about this? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm super excited because there are investigations galore coming. I'm excited about this next one. Any thoughts on investigating the Sisio Hotel? I've never done it. I do believe it's in California, or it's somewhere far from me. Anybody that's ever seen the video of, what is her name? Alyssa Lamb. I don't remember her name, but anybody that has seen that video of her acting crazy, bizarre in that elevator is like, that disturbed me for a long time. I watched that video a long time ago. That was when I was with my kids' father. So that was at least 8 years ago that I saw that video. But yeah, because we used to just look up crazy, like, videos on the internet of, like, crazy things happening. And, like, he was pretty into that. So, and I remember seeing that video and I was like, oh crap, that is so crazy. And then I remember seeing something about them finding her body in that water thing that was up on the roof. And that was just nuts. And to me, like, that was always really scary. But I don't know, like, I know that Ghost Adventure said that they were the first people to go and investigate. I don't really know if that's true, because I don't know. I don't want to say that they're lying. I don't want to say that they're lying. But sometimes a lot of people will, like, hype up their stuff. I think I did read comments underneath it, like something that they posted, and they did say, somebody did say that somebody else had been there too. So I don't know. If you could investigate any location in the world, what would it be? I would really, really want to go to Loftus Hall. I know that I've always said that I wanted to go to Bobby Mackey's. And now that I've done Bobby Mackey's, I feel like there are so many other places to do. I really want to do a Brushy Mountain. I also want to do, what are some other places? I want to do the Sarah Winchester Mystery House. I want to do Alcatraz. But those are, like, US, and why should I limit myself to the US? So I feel like when people ask me anywhere in the world, I go, oh, Loftus Hall. Like, that's the first one that I think of. I have heard that the Loftus Hall is like the Bobby Mackey's of, I think Loftus Hall is in Ireland, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'm bad with all that. But yeah, Loftus Hall would be a really cool place to go. I know that when Ghost Adventures covered it, they said that, like, all the statues of, like, Jesus, the like, head was broken. And there's a cool story associated with Loftus Hall. Honestly, I'm going to tell you the story, but I might butch it because I don't take me, like, don't take my word as the gospel, basically, because I could be wrong. So if I remember correctly from the Ghost Adventures episode, there is this story associated with Loftus Hall that there were these prominent people of wealth, and they had a daughter, and it was storming really badly one day, and somebody showed up on their doorstep, And I don't remember exactly what happened, but they said that something happened and they didn't have anywhere to stay, so they asked if they could stay. And the family basically invited this man in. And I don't know, the storm lasted, I don't know. See, like, I already think I'm getting it wrong. Something about the storm lasted like a really long time or something like that. And basically, like, the girl ended up falling in love with this guy, and they ended up doing it, I guess. And she basically got pregnant by this guy, and come to find out he was evidently the devil or something like that. I don't know. There was something about a card game, and he showed his foot and he had like hooves or something. I don't know. And then he flew through the ceiling. That was the big story. So like the family was very shameful that she had gotten pregnant by the devil. But anyway, they ended up hiding the baby in the wall. So there was this big urban legend about that. But I think Ghost Adventures did uncover some sort of evidence that showed that there was baby remains in a wall there. So I always found that really, really interesting. I've also seen videos of like Loftus Hall, like on YouTube and stuff like that. And some of the stuff that happens there is crazy. So I would love to go to Loftus Hall. I would also like to go to the Japanese suicide forest. I probably shouldn't, but considering that I am, I'm actually 25% Japanese. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Yeah, so I'm a quarter Japanese. My dad's mother is full-blooded Japanese. She was in Japan during World War II. Yeah, that was two, right? I'm so stupid. Yeah, so she was in Japan during the bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And she actually met an American soldier who was Native American, and they ended up having relations together. She ended up getting pregnant, and then after the war, he came back to America. So when my dad was born, because he was born in Japan, his mom and him came over to find his dad in America. And I do believe that they did end up finding each other. They did get married, and then come to find out he wasn't the person who he said he was or something like that. So they ended up getting divorced. And my grandma did marry somebody else, my grandpa Melton, and that's the only grandpa that I've known my whole life. But he passed away, sadly, in 2012, I think. Maybe 2011. I think 2012 was when he passed away. But yeah, and my grandma is 90-something years old, and she's a sweet old lady, and I love her. But she lives in Michigan, which is kind of sad. But yeah, so I would love to go to that forest. I think that forest would be super cool. It'd be like paying homage to my heritage kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just crazy. I've seen so many movies about it too. So anyway, do you guys have any other questions? I know there's only 2 of you guys, but I'll answer any questions that you want. I feel like I've been on here forever just ranting about things that maybe necessarily you guys aren't interested in. Oh my gosh, my arms are so pale. I have to like tan or something. I don't know why I'm so pale. Yeah, so do you want I probably won't. Never mind, I'm probably not gonna say that. Any more questions? I got here late, so you have been on for 20 minutes for me. Oh, okay, well that's cool. Yeah, you did, because you said this is the first one that you've ever been able to make, which is really cool. I'm so glad that you made it. I'm sorry that, you missed an hour of it, though. But if you have any questions, I'll answer any questions for you. Or is Grumpy Aussie Adventures, is that the other person that's here? Who's the other person? Any questions? I know it takes a bit to like type it out and stuff. Yes, it's you. It's you. We talk a lot too. Like I honestly, like I have so many people that I talk to. Like it's not even funny. But yeah, I do know that we talk frequently. And I know I've talked to Haunted a couple times. And Tombstone Whispers is also somebody that I talk to on a frequent. There are some people who like message me every day. And then there are some people who message me like once a week. And then there are some people who only message me like sometimes. I'm getting tired here. It's 1:33 a.m. Oh my gosh, well, don't stay up because of me. That's ridiculous. Don't do that. Hello, Adam. It's so nice to see you. I investigate solo sometimes on your channel and am with 3 Souls Paranormal when we do the group investigations. I've definitely heard of 3 Souls Paranormal. I think I've talked to them a couple times. It's possible. Or I've at least like commented on some of the stuff that they've had, but I've definitely seen them before. Haunted by Haunted, I will definitely check out your channel. Like I said, I'm showing, you probably didn't catch this earlier, but I was talking about how I'm showing love to small channels right now. So I will definitely check out your channel once this is done. It's possible I could have checked out your channel prior, maybe not, but I will watch some of the stuff and I will comment so that way you know that I have been watching. I am doing great, Adam. How are you? I've been on here for 1 hour and 21 minutes just ranting. That's what I've been doing. I've been ranting and I've been laughing at my own jokes. So if you enjoy that, then you can go back and watch it. But Adam, do you have any questions? I've been answering questions for the past, I'd say half hour. If you have any questions that you want to ask, I will gladly answer them for you. You haven't gotten any content on yours yet. Well, is that something that you're looking forward to doing, or do you want to make videos on your YouTube channel? I know I do talk to quite a few people who ask me for like advice and stuff, and some people like putting up stuff and other people don't. They don't like being on the spot. They don't like that, and that's perfectly okay. I think it just goes depending on your personality. Like if you're very shy, I think it's going to be harder for you to kind of come out of your shell. But once you do, I think it's going to be great for you. I'd love to see you put up content. I love when people make content. I really do. I love watching people seeing their stuff, seeing their adventure, seeing what they're doing. So I'd love to see, if you do put something up, definitely let me know. I'd love to check it out. What would you say is your favorite piece of equipment to use when investigating? Definitely an EVP recorder. I think because a lot of the equipment that people have is because, how do I put this? Some of the equipment is like, you have to take with a grain of salt, I guess. Like SLS cameras. When I was watching TV shows, I was like, an SLS camera is the thing that I have to have. Like, I have to have an SLS camera. And it was $400. And I was like, you know what? Like, I have to have it. It's so cool. I love watching people on TV have it. Like, it's proof of spirits. So I was like, let's buy it. So I buy it. And I'm reading a disclaimer from the manufacturer who says that SLS cameras basically, like, they glitch when you point them at a chair. So it'll register a person sitting in the chair. And I'm like, okay, I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen TV shows show a chair and have a person sitting in the chair. So to me, I was like, oh, wow, well, that's kind of disappointing. And then the more that I thought about it, the more I was like, well, if it glitches with chairs, what else does it glitch with? And now it's gotten to the point where I don't even use SLS cameras anymore. So if I have to question something, like a lot of the things that I question I won't use besides a spirit box. Like I do have my reservations about spirit box like we were talking about earlier. I don't know if you caught that. But I still use it because I feel like it's a classic staple for people to begin with. And I feel like people who are generally in the field know how a spirit box works, which is why I kind of use it. I don't want to get anything too fancy where people are like, what is that? How does that work? Like, oh my God, and then they automatically don't believe in it because it's not that common. So trying to stay like grounded with other people. But I definitely love EVP recorders because that's something that you can't dispute. Like, it doesn't matter if me and you are the only two people in an entire building and we ask a question and we get an answer that neither of us made a noise. You can't dispute that. Like, that's not something that I can just toss away and say, no, that's not something. So yes, SLS is great entertainment, but there's too many false hits. And especially with this whole like ghost tube app, I get people who ask me about the ghost tube app all the time. And I'm like, I just don't believe in the ghost tube app. Like, the real SLS camera, which is $400, by the way, barely works properly in my opinion. Why would an app work properly? Like, I don't know. So you're sitting in Texas and you did a number of videos on your channel. That is great, Adam. I would love to are they paranormal videos? First of all, if they're paranormal videos, I would love to check out your videos. You are looking into it. Time and finances are a factor at the moment. Not all equipment works all the time. Yeah. Yeah, that was something that I kind of had to get through as far as with my channel and trying to like, you know, figure out what was more important or like what I should be doing or like things like that. So, and like making the banner and making the logo, and oh my gosh, it was a mess when I first started. But honestly, like, don't let that be a fear for starting. Like, everybody is a mess when they first start. And if they're not a mess, it's because they have enough money to pay somebody to not be a mess. But literally, like, any average Joe like me or you is going to be a mess when you first start. Don't let that stop you from getting it and going out and doing what you love doing. But I, you know, I really wish you the best, and I hope that you do it. Okay, so if you've done some cemetery videos, I'll watch some cemetery videos. Yeah, like I said, I've been showing love to small channels lately because I feel like I get so much love and I've grown so much on the channel, and not everybody has that following. I think I was very fortunate to get a following on Instagram prior to doing YouTube. So I think that has definitely helped me. So I've just been showing love to small channels lately because YouTube doesn't do that. Like, YouTube doesn't overly recommend too many small channels unless if you're doing well. So I've been trying to like put all these small channels like out there for everybody else, because I know that like some people love real investigations. Like, and I feel like sometimes I get conflicted because I watch people who are successful on YouTube, which is great. I love that they're successful. But then parts of me are like, are you being authentic? Are you being real? Like, something that you're doing right now would never happen on an actual investigation. So, and I see that like, and this is what I mean, like, there was a video recently that surfaced of a paranormal group, and I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to shade them. There was a video that surfaced of them faking their own evidence. They accidentally posted this video of them faking their own evidence, but they took it down right away. And I remember they had like 500,000 subscribers or something ridiculously large. And I remember I was like, ooh, they're going to lose a huge following. Oh my gosh. But I was like, you know, that's what they get for faking evidence. And I think I went back and checked like a month later, and they really didn't lose very many followers. And that to me discouraged me. I was like, oh my gosh, people will watch it even though they know that it's fake. And I was like, is that something people really want to see? Like, and that's so hurtful to the community. And I just remember going, oh my God, like, what does that mean for my channel? Like, if I'm not faking it, if I'm not being dramatic, like, are people not going to watch me? And I'm so glad that you guys do watch me, because I was like, if, you know, like, what if nobody watches me and I'm sitting here being real and I'm spending all my money to be real and help educate you guys, and nobody's watching me? Like, that, honestly, I would do it either way if people were watching me or not. But I was like, is that going to be something that affects the growth of my channel, basically? Because I'm never going to turn into somebody who dramatizes evidence or who fakes evidence. I'm never going to do anything like that. So I was like, is that something that I'm going to have to worry about, like, growth in my channel, because I'm being real and my stuff's boring slightly? You know, so, but yeah, I couldn't believe that there were people who were still watching them, even though they knew that they were faking. But yeah, and so yeah, I've been showing love to small channels because you know, unfortunately, some of the real channels, they don't get the action or the subscriber count that they probably should, which is very unfortunate because, you know, there are people out here who are trying to teach people about the real side of the paranormal. I don't want to say real side, but, you know, they're trying to teach people about what actually happens when we're out investigating, because like what you see on TV shows and like what happens when you're actually doing it is two completely different things. And unfortunately, if you're not somebody who's not out there, you're never going to know the difference. You're never going to know that it was so different. I know the norm is to speak openly when talking to an apparition, but have you ever used mental telepathy to contact an apparition? Yes. Yeah, I used to do it frequently, actually. That was something like if I don't want to bother somebody, and I was on like a public investigation, I would just like close my eyes and like really try to focus and be like, okay, make a knock noise if you're here. And sometimes it would happen and sometimes it wouldn't. And then I'd be like, okay, well, I can't say to other people, hey, I asked him to make a knock noise and he did, because I don't want people to be like, oh, you're making it up. So I think that's why I do it public. Like I voice myself now when I'm asking. I like using dowsing rods frequently on investigations. People seem to either love dowsing rods or hate them amongst paranormal researchers. Right. Yeah, I can see. And you know what? Like, if you do something and you love it and you get great evidence with it, keep doing what you love doing. Like, don't let anybody else tell you that it's not valid or whatever. Like, I personally don't enjoy dowsing rods, but that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy them. You know, it's not like I'm not saying that you're wrong in any way. And, you know, you shouldn't let anybody say that. Like, if you enjoy doing it, continue to do it. But I know for me, I've only used them once. And that was because I had met somebody on a public investigation who was using dowsing rods. And I asked them, I said, hey, can I see those real quick? And he was like, oh yeah. So I held them and I noticed that like if I turned my hand like slightly, it would move. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to be doing that because to me that's like questionable for me. But I mean, if you use it and you love it, then keep doing it. It is a shame that some people would fake their content for views. Yes. It is very much so a shame. And you know, I love the paranormal. I love watching people. I'm sorry, I keep looking outside because there's like birds. And I love watching people actually get evidence, but sometimes it's hard for me to kind of just jump on that automatic, like, oh yeah, they're not faking kind of thing, because I know that there's way too many people out there faking. And like when they started doing, what show was that? Paranormal Caught on Camera. I was super excited for Paranormal Caught on Camera. I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so cool. It's going to be the best thing. Like, it's basically what I do already, like when I look online, but you're just organizing it for me in a nice little video. And I ended up watching the first season, and I think I watched some of the second season, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Because again, like I was talking about earlier, it's this idea that everything has to be paranormal. And it doesn't. Like, that's like they'll show these cloud formations and they'll be like, oh my God, it's paranormal. But I mean, I'm sure that you could explain it with science. Like, and I think that's why I get a little irritated. But they were like, oh yeah, it's paranormal. It's paranormal. And they showed, I remember the one thing that really got me was there was this fire in this tree. And they were saying, oh, you know, like, it could be paranormal. Like, is this a sign from the gods? Blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, more than likely, lightning struck and set the tree on fire in the middle of this, like, I don't know, forest or something. And then they were like, but we don't see any storm or nothing like that. But, I mean, I don't know. And I was like, I can't watch that anymore. If you're going to say that you think that it was lightning and now you're saying that it's paranormal, like, I don't agree with that. Like, not everything has to be paranormal. Have you ever had an apparition follow you home to contact you? Well, for one, that's cool that you think that you have. I do believe that sometimes they will kind of follow you home just a little bit. Just to kind of like, I don't know, I think they just follow you home just because like you're different than what they normally encounter or whatever. And then usually they go back to where they were. It happens sometimes. I do believe that it happened to me one time for sure. Hillview. I had gone to Hillview and I came home and I just remember feeling like there was a nurse in the room with me. And I think that night I saw like shadows and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't know. I guess that's not like definitive proof that something did follow me home. So doing ghost tours with a lot of people is hard to capture real evidence. The possibility of people making noise is too high to say it's paranormal. Yep. That's why I like rolling with a small group. I know a lot of people dog me because I do solos and they're like, it's not safe. It's not safe. Okay, well, what evidence am I really, really going to get when I have 10 freaking people sitting in the same room with me? Like, like you can dog on me doing it solo all you want, but you don't know what happens behind camera. Like, there are steps that I do take to be safe. Like, I will let multiple people know where I'm going and from what time. And then not only that, but a lot of the times there is the tour guide on site because it's mandatory in some places that they have to be on site to make sure that you're not burning the building down. And they will be, either outside in a car or they will be in a room somewhere. They'll tell you what room you're in, so what room they're in. So that way I know, like, if I hear a knock from that direction, I won't count it. But, yeah, it's not like I'm just going to these places like without having a plan. Like, usually there is somebody on site with me. So for people to come at me and say like, oh, you shouldn't be doing it solo, that's like the worst thing that you could be doing. Well, I think the worst thing that you could be doing is investigating with 10 people and thinking that you're going to get credible evidence, because you're not. That's just, it doesn't happen. I rarely do public investigations for that reason. Because for some reason, I don't know if I'm just like likable or whatever, but people tend to gravitate towards me when we're investigating and we're doing public events. So when me and Sabrina used to do public events, it would just be the two of us. And then we'd go in and people would start like, they'd be like, oh, can I hang out with you? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I don't want to tell somebody they can't hang out with me. And eventually I'll have like 10 people in the same room with me because I'm getting good evidence. And then I'll be like, man, what happened? Like, why do I have so many people? Yeah, the smaller the number is the best. Yeah. You rarely do public hunts for the same reason. Yeah. Yeah, like I like meeting new people. I'll go. Like, I've been debating on doing a public event at Waverly Hills. Just so that way, one, I can say that I've been to Waverly Hills, and two, I can meet new people. Like, anybody that I meet on an investigation, like if I give them my information, usually I keep contact. Like my friend Sage, I met him because I did that fundraiser at Hillview. That's where I met him and his girlfriend. He also has a friend named Sam. I talk to them frequently. Well, to him mostly. And then I've met Nicole and Brett from Ghosts and That. They came to my event and I keep contact with her. So the reason I ask, would hear the name Evelyn for 4 days after doing a video to the Pennsylvania Beth Dome. She was 4 days later, Evelyn, they caught the killer too. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't know for sure. But yeah, it's pretty common where something will follow you home for a few days and then it'll go back to where it came from, usually. Amber's Paraworld, hi! I talk to you frequently too. I met you on TikTok. Yeah, did we meet on TikTok? Yep. Oh my God, I hate being in large groups. Yes. Oh my God, thank you. I would rather be alone as well. Seems like I end up editing out way too much. Yep, when people are around. I don't want their random conversations in my video. That's something that I'm struggling with my sister right now, and no shame to her. Oh my God. She's lovely. But like, I invited her to come down, and just so you guys know, like, she has no paranormal background. I think she's only doing it because I asked her to do it. But I mean, she does like going. She's pretty skeptical herself, which is pretty cool. I love that. But sometimes she'll whisper to me and I'll be like, don't whisper. Don't whisper. We're doing an EVP session. Or like sometimes she'll like talk about stuff and I'll be like, girl, we're on an investigation, which I mean, I don't mind. But yeah, Like random people's conversations, I don't want it in my videos, which is why I do private. Anytime I film for YouTube, it's private. So, and that's why, is because it's not because I don't want people there investigating with me. I love investigating with new people and I love seeing their style and seeing their equipment. But it's just, I don't want the contamination. That's the thing. Oh yeah. Well, thank you for popping in on the live. Yeah, if you guys want to check out Amber's Paraworld, she has a TikTok. I do believe she also has a YouTube channel. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I keep contact with a lot of people, so I'm sorry if I get things mixed up. You're definitely on TikTok, I know that, but I don't know about YouTube. You might have a YouTube. Yeah, but I don't know. I think that's why I stopped doing big group investigations. Oh yeah, they're hella hard to edit through. I'm pretty loud too on investigations. I try not to be obnoxious to myself though. I feel bad if anybody was having to edit me. Gotta go. My phone is about to cut out. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Keep the videos coming. I will definitely chat with you next time. Do you want me to go live once a week? Is that something that you want me to do? Because I'm more than willing to sit here and chat with you guys once a week if you want. Yes, chat with me next time. Have a good day. Oh my gosh. Yes, you do have a YouTube as well. Is it called Amber's Paraworld? Because we've been talking for the past like 20 minutes, or at least I've mentioned about giving love to small channels. So I think that would classify you as a small channel. And I know that Haunted by Haunted said that he likes dowsing rods. And I think you have dowsing rods too, right? Right, Amber? Absolutely. Yes. I would love to do lives once a week. I probably won't talk as long all the time though, but I get excited. I get excited to have people who share the same passion as me. I think it's very special to have like-minded people around you. And, you know, for me, I moved here to a completely different state, 6 hours away from where I was living. And I really haven't met anybody because I don't work. I just do YouTube. So, I mean, shout out to the YouTube. But so I don't really know anybody here. So sometimes it can be frustrating because like I want to talk about things that I've done and I want to talk about my experiences, but the only people that I have to connect with are the people on the internet, which I mean, there isn't anything wrong with that. So I'm hoping to do lives once a week and I'm hoping that you guys will join me, even if it's just like a few of you guys. Like, I don't mind. It could be like a small group thing. Like, that's cool. But yeah, I should be hosting events soon, things like that. So not just being loud, but I'm talking about doing EVP sessions and they start talking about their doctor's appointment last week. Oh my God, stop it. Sometimes I will say, I like to record audio the whole time I'm there because sometimes things will happen where like, if you are having a legit conversation with somebody, spirits will kind of either feel like, I don't want to speak for them, but they'll feel like, hey, you're here for me. You know, like, why are you talking? Why are you having a normal conversation? Shouldn't you be talking to me? Or they'll just want to be a part of your conversation. They'll just want to feel like, you know, you acknowledge them. So they will speak about your conversation. They will either make a comment about it, or they'll be like, hey, or like, I don't know, they'll be like, hey, don't forget about me kind of thing. But yeah, so it does happen. So I record audio the entire time that I am doing investigations because I want people to, I want the spirits to feel like they're part of that conversation. And also like you get good stuff sometimes when you don't mean to. But oh, you're looking forward to it. They butt in, yeah. Yeah. They butt in, and a lot of the times you don't expect to get something. So I highly recommend doing audio if you can. If you can't, then you know that's understandable. I highly recommend doing audio the entire time that you're in a location. Just because like I get stuff that I never thought that I would have got, because like this one, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's from West Virginia Penn, where basically the entire place feels like an active prison. And I've never been to prison. So I don't know. It was just really overwhelming for me. And I just felt like somebody was going to like pop out and like stab me. It was really crazy. But so we were doing West Virginia Penn. I had my audio rolling the entire time, and we did catch something. What happened was I walked through this set of doors, and I did film that. We did film this. We were filming at the time, and me and Sabrina are just walking around, I think, and I walked through a set of doors, and I flinched like this. And I look at Sabrina, and I was like, oh my God, I thought somebody was going to hit me. And we're kind of just talking about that. And I had my audio recorder running, thankfully. And right as I flinch, somebody said, hit her. And that's super crazy. And I'm so glad that I was rolling just audio all the time. That's why I do it. So YouTube is hard to build up at first. I'm definitely a small channel, but I won't put out content that isn't authentic. Yes, that's exactly what we were talking about earlier, was how some of these like bigger channels, like they've even come out and said that they're like for entertainment purposes only, or like, they said like, hey, we fake evidence, it's just for entertainment or like just for fun. And people will still watch that. And I feel really, really sad about that. Like, I personally wouldn't watch something that I know is fake, especially because I think I'm just a hardcore like paranormal lover. So I know that there are real people out there who do want real evidence. They want authentic evidence. And I really hope that comes around for you. And I think you're going to see a huge payoff for that. I have a wrist recorder. Oh, did you get it from Ghost Stop? I've seen one, and it goes everywhere with me. Sometimes I forget to turn it off and end up recording. I've done that. I think, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Hold on, let me grab my lotion. That's so funny because me and my friend Sabrina, we did Trans-Allegheny, which, oh my God, don't ever do a public there. That was the worst thing ever. So we did a public investigation at Trans-Allegheny, and not to get too far off topic, but basically, it was a shit show. Like, literally, there was like 60 people in this building. And yes, the building's fairly large, but they have like 20 people on each floor. Like, I don't know, like 15 to 20 people on each floor. There's 4 floors. I don't know. There was just so much people. And all you could hear was people walking around and stomping. And it was ridiculous. But anyway, I used my audio recorder the whole time, and I totally forgot to turn it off. And I recorded the whole 3-hour ride home. Oh yeah, you did Bobby Mackey's, and you had that feeling in Bobby Mackey's. It was like a force field at the doorway. Yeah, I've definitely had that before. I think my sister experienced the force field in the doorway at Bobby Mackey's, but not in Carl's apartment. She felt it downstairs in kind of like, so you have that initial like basement area, and then you have that walk-in before you walk into the room with the well, and she couldn't walk in, and I filmed that. I don't remember if I put that in there or not, but I had to like encourage her to walk through it because she said she was just so scared to walk through it. And I was like, whenever you experience something that you're scared to do, just do it. Don't think about it, because if you sit there and think about it, you're gonna mess up your mind, and then you're not going to be able to do it. So when I'm experiencing something, I will push through it right away. I won't even take a second, like, think about it. And that's how I usually get through something that's like scary for me. I know Madison Seminary was scary for me, and I pushed through that. So I think the Monroe House is the only one that I've ever had to like leave because I legitimately felt like I wasn't safe. But yeah. Public investigations there suck. Oh yeah, Trans-Allegheny. I went just so that way I could say that I had gone, because Trans-Allegheny really is a beautiful place. If you haven't been there, I highly suggest going there. Just do like a daytime tour, or just do a regular tour. Don't do an investigation public one, because I mean, like, I know the private ones are expensive, but you're not going to get anything legit out of that, because there are just way too many people. I tried going in January because I was like, oh my God, I'm so smart. I'm going to go in January, and there's going to be nobody else there because it's going to be freezing. Not the case. There was still a bunch of people there. So the guys there talk so much, you can't really get much there. Yeah. Oh, another issue that I had was our tour guide invited like a friend of hers or something, like some guy there that was trying to like impress her or something like that. And he was just being an ass the entire time. Like, he would be like, hey, if you make a knock noise, you can have this quarter or something like that. And then he'd like fucking chuck the quarter all the way down the hallway. And I'm like, be respectful. Like, come on. And he had these big boots on. He had these like big baggy pants with like chains on them. And he had this like trench coat with like chains on them. So he was like rattling the entire time. It was very, very annoying. That's why I don't like public events. First call driver for mortuaries. My first week, I went from non-believer to believer. Oh, yeah, I bet. How was that job for you? I thought about working in a morgue. My sister used to work in a morgue, so I think she definitely connects with the whole like spiritual thing. She mentioned it in the Bobby Mackey's episode, but I don't think it made it in. I think I cut it out because she was talking about how she thinks that she's sensitive because when she would work in the morgue, she would always feel like these different feelings around like certain things. So I avoid public events like the plague. Yes, totally understand. Trans-Allegheny is a great place, but it could operate better. I feel like Trans-Allegheny is so competitive to like get into, which is kind of nuts. But yeah, I don't know. $3,000 for a private investigation, I think is too much. I think it's initially like $2,000 something, and then you have to have insurance or you have to have their insurance, which I think is weird. So, and I think that was like another like $400 or $500 on, I don't know. So I think it came around close to $3,000, which I think was a little bit ridiculous. LOL, was his name Zach? I don't know what his name was, but I just remember being like, oh my God, shut up. He was so obnoxious and so like loud and just disrespectful. And I can deal with people being obnoxious and loud, but I can't deal with disrespect. That's one thing I don't deal well with. By watching my videos, I'm sure that you guys know that I'm not somebody who's disrespectful, or at least I try not to be. I hope I don't come across that way. I'm not just going to go like, hey, you better give me an EVP or else like I'm going to pee in this corner or something like that. I don't know. But I don't. People are like so disrespectful. They're like, oh, you were a piece of crap in real life. You're a piece of crap spirit. Like, that's not something that I usually do. Now, if spirits are coming after me and they're being disrespectful to me, then I will be disrespectful back because I don't tolerate that. I wouldn't tolerate it from a person in real life. I wouldn't tolerate it from a spirit. So yeah, everybody has a spare $3,000 just sitting around collecting dust. Oh, definitely. Definitely us investigators who spend tremendous amounts of money on locations and equipment. We have to have $3,000. But yeah, it's just so crazy. Yeah, I've been looking into going to Waverly Hills because I find the building so fascinating, and I've done so many places that have dealt with tuberculosis. Indiana State Sanatorium did tuberculosis cases. So to go somewhere like that would just be so cool, especially because I loved Indiana State Sanatorium. I definitely want to do a return episode, so I will be working on that. I think I want to do a collab with that, though. I was saying earlier that I do have some collabs in the work. In the works. I don't want to throw out anybody's name just in case this stuff falls through. But Mansfield is $3,000. Are you kidding me? Because the last time I checked, they were $1,000, and I was like, that's too much. Now they're $3,000. I'm sorry, Mansfield, but who do you think that you are? See, so if you're not an investigator and you're sitting in on this, which I think everybody here is an investigator, or at least from the most part, like what I have gathered, this is the kind of crap that we deal with, is people thinking that their building is worth $3,000 a night to go and investigate, which I think is just ridiculous. There's no reason why it should be, $3,000 on Sundays. I mean, it's a holy day. Come on. Have a holy sale or something. Yeah, but it's just so crazy. Yeah, I've been looking into Waverly Hills. That one's $1,000, but it's very competitive to get into. I guess they book up like the first week of saying that, like, the first week of January, they like book the rest of the year, which is totally crazy. And I've talked to the ladies there before, like I've talked to the owner, and I've talked to recent tour guides. Actually, Mike from Rhodes Hotel, the founder of the Lost Limbs Foundation. He actually used to be a tour guide at Waverly Hills, which I think is really cool. But yeah, everybody has nothing but nice things to say about Waverly Hills, and I really want to go. There are collabs in the works for Waverly Hills, so fingers crossed. I'm hoping that things go through as planned. I've got at least 3 or 4 collabs that I'm working on, 2 of which will happen this year, and then I think 2 are going to happen next year. So it really just depends. I'm working on those, but yeah. So it's the same in the UK. It's madness. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's the Silent Hunter. Hi. I've checked out some of your videos. You guys check out the Silent Hunter. He's really, really good at editing. I can't wait to see what you have coming up next. But we have to blame these groups that go on TV to these locations. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they don't. The big groups don't help. Like, it's so crazy. That is expensive as hell to do paranormal investigations. Yeah. So every location that I do, I pay for. I will not trespass. So I make sure that I have permission to film. I make sure that I'm allowed to be where I'm at, and I'm allowed to have the equipment that I have. Some places have restrictions on equipment, but really you're only going to find that when you do places like Gettysburg or things like that. They'll have restrictions on what you can and can't use. But yeah, every location that I've done, I've paid for. So it costs me money to make these videos, but I feel like educating people about the paranormal is so important, and that's why I do it. Because I see so many people who are like, oh, let's just trespass, or oh, like, let's just do this, or demons. And I'm like, please no. I used to team up with a guy who went to Waverly Hills, and he said it is overrated. Aw. He said the airport is right by there, and they kept hearing planes taking off and landing all night. Oh my gosh, that's such a shame. That is total trash. I hate that. Oh my gosh. That would be so annoying. When we did Bobby Mackey's, there's a highway right next to Bobby Mackey's, and it was like all the cars would drive by, and like you'd hear the semis, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like I didn't even realize that it was so close. I mean, I guess I did, but I didn't. Like I didn't take that into consideration. So I was like, oh my gosh, all these cars. I couldn't imagine planes. Like, we don't live that close to the airport, but the planes that do land will come over my house, and I hear them every time, like at nighttime. So I still want to go to Waverly Hills, so don't feel bad. I still want to, I go to these places, and I'm like, even if I didn't have a good time, I still like going because, one, I'm meeting new people. I'm meeting people who love the paranormal, who have the same passion as me, and I think that's important. Like I said earlier, like surrounding yourself with people who have the same goals is so important. So I'm meeting new people, and then I get to experience the building. I get to see the way that people used to live. And sometimes it's just so tragic, the way that they were treated, or like the things that they went to. And I think it's so important to tell their story and to be remembered, so that way history doesn't repeat itself. And even if I'm not getting evidence, I still enjoy going because I get to experience those things. I still get to travel, and I still enjoy myself, which is great. Do any of you guys have any questions? Oh my gosh, I've been on for almost 2 hours. That's so cool. I love talking to you guys. 2 hours. That's 4 technically. But. Oh my gosh, by the way, if you guys are looking for, this doesn't even have anything to do with the paranormal, but if you're looking for like a really, really good lotion, the Brazilian Bum Bum Cream, oh, it's really good. It's really expensive though. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I can't remember if I paid 20 or 40 for this little jar, but it's so good. It smells like a vacation. By the way, I don't know. Yeah, but I love everything about this field. Like, and even though I get frustrated sometimes with like different things or like different videos that I see where like I might not believe in it, I still appreciate it. Like, that's the thing. What other locations are on your bucket list? Oh, we talked a little bit about that earlier. So I mentioned Loftus Hall. which is in Ireland. And then the Suicide Forest, somebody listed the name, but I don't remember. The Sarah Winchester Mystery House is definitely on the list. I really, really want to do the Washoe Club. I feel like it's a classic staple because they were like the ones that let Ghost Adventures come in and do their thing, and that's kind of what really helped them. So I think it's only fair to pay them like respect for that. I definitely want to do Waverly Hills. I'd like to do Mansfield, but I don't want to pay $3,000 for it. Eloise is another place that is a state prison for Michigan. I want to go there. I really, really want to start doing prisons, but I feel like they're so expensive. Why are the prisons so expensive? So I definitely want to do Brushy Mountain State. Isn't there like a Missouri State Prison or something? A Montana State Prison or something? I want to do. There's this really cool. It's called Octagon Hall. I definitely want to do that. I want to do the abandoned Lake Shawnee Fairgrounds or what amusement park or whatever. I was in the works for doing that, but things kind of fell through and I ended up moving. So now I'm kind of further away, which is a little bit sad. Fort Mifflin was somewhere that I was looking into doing, but I can't really do right now. St. Augustine's Lighthouse. I mean, I have a ton of places. Sorry, phone call. Okay, well, that's fine. The Cage, is that pronounced cage in England? I view paranormal investigating as if I had a normal guy hobby, such as hunting or fishing. Travel there, spend time, waste time. Sometimes you have love, sometimes you don't. Yeah. As an avid fisherman, I love fishing, by the way. I love being out there even if I'm not catching anything because you soak up the nature. So, I mean, it kind of is the same thing. Hi, Amber, hashtag team or rewatch. I'm at work and the boss walked away. They walked away. So now you're here because he walked away. And I will rewatch them when I get home. Yeah. So okay. I know I asked you guys if you guys wanted to do a rewatch party. I don't know how to do that. How do you guys do? Does anybody know how to do a rewatch party where we can rewatch it together and I can just type like kind of like this over here? And I can just type and chat with you guys while the episode is playing. Do you guys know how to do that? Because I've been trying to look up and I found StreamYard, but StreamYard wants you to pay like $60 a year. And I don't know if the watch time hours will count for my channel. And I'm a little worried that maybe it won't. Not that it's like a big determining factor for me, but like, if I get enough watch time hours, I will start to get paid. And then maybe I can afford the big places that I want to do. So I don't know. Does that seem selfish that like, you know, it's a concern for me? And let me know. The bucket list spot is the Island of Dolls in Mexico. That would be a super cool place. I'd definitely go with you to that place. Arizona has a ton of places. I've never been out west, which is something that I definitely want to do. Where are the domes at? Didn't Ghost Adventures do like some satanic domes? Where are those at? I feel like those would be cool. I didn't do it as a paranormal investigation, but my most recent video was a memorial park in Texas City for the victims of the August 16th, 1947 Texas City disaster. That is so great. I am going to watch that as soon as we're done. Haunted by Haunted, I'm going to watch your channel. Adam, I'm going to watch your channel. Amber's Paranormal, I'm watching your channel. You guys, like I said, I've been showing love to small channels. I absolutely love the fact that you did a video for that, like as like a little tribute investigation thing. So Lake Shawnee isn't answering or responding to anyone this year. Someone in their family got sick earlier this year and hadn't opened up. Oh, well, that's crazy. I'm sorry. That's so sad. I know that the person that I talked to was on some random website, and honestly, like, I don't even know if it was legit or not. I use StreamYard and I haven't paid for it. The only app I have paid for is my editing app. So can you do like a rewatch party where like I was saying, like, can there be a chat on the side over here with like a video? Because I tried downloading StreamYard and StreamYard was like the only way that you can watch one of your videos was if you paid $60. StreamYard should still count towards watch time hours. That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. I talked to, what is that, Ethereal Sister? The Ethereal Sisters or whatever, the one, they're from Australia, and she said she didn't think that the watch time hours counted. Texas City / Galveston has a lot of material to make videos. Yeah, I've noticed Colin Brown from the Paranormal Files is from Texas. He does a lot of, I think he trespasses, so I don't know. No, it's not selfish. You have to do what's best for you. I'm glad that you don't think that it's selfish, because I feel like I'm being selfish because I need watch time hours to make money. And it's not like I'm just here trying to make money, but if I make money, then I can afford to do bigger places and hopefully like educate more people. Oh, you guys know each other. That's so cool. Christina and Amber's Paraworld know each other. That's so sweet. Isn't like the paranormal community like so cool? And it's like, I don't want to say it's a small community because it's actually a fairly large community, but I mean, like, people recognize each other all the time, and it's so sweet. I love that. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be checking out those channels. I will have to look into StreamYard again, because I know that they wanted me to pay $60, but I wasn't sure if it would count for my watch time hours, and I didn't want to pay $60 if it wasn't going to count, to be honest. It used to not give you the option, but now it does. I didn't even download it. I just go to their site and sign in. When you create a broadcast, it will ask if you want to create a new one or use existing. So if you use an existing one, can I just pick like a episode that I already have? Shorts don't count for watch time hours. Okay, I don't have any shorts. So if I just pick one that I already have, because I've seen that, but I think I was under the impression that it was like use existing as in like a live that you had done. I wasn't sure if it would do like an episode that I had done. Have you done that before? You should be able to. Okay. I will check that after I'm done here. I know I said I'm going to do so many things. Oh my gosh, it's 12:30. It's 12:30 where I'm at. But yeah, I will check that. And then if I can do it, we are definitely going to be doing like rewatching parties, and then I will do lives every week. Because I'm hoping to hit my watch time hours this year. I just broke 1,000 last month, 1,000 watch time hours, which is really cool. I'm surprised that people have been watching. But I need 4,000, which, I mean, if you guys have a channel, you know the struggle for that. So, yeah, I've just been working on like constantly uploading content, and I found that uploading content consistently is what really like, I don't know, quadrupled the amount of subscribers that I had, and then my watch time hours. So if you're not uploading consistently, I highly suggest uploading consistently. Even if you just like do a live and place up like a thing, I think it should be good. YouTube is always changing their rules. Yeah. It used to be 1,000 and now it's 4,000, and watch time hours have to be within a 12-month period. Yeah. And it's so frustrating because I feel like I can definitely hit 4,000 watch time hours, but I'm like, can I do it in a 12-month time period? And that's my biggest concern. Like, I guaranteed if I was given 2 years, I could hit that, but doing it in a 1 year time constraint is a little bit tricky for me. So I think that's why I'm going to start doing like lives and stuff. Plus, like, I love talking to you guys. So, I mean, I get the best of both worlds that way. But yeah, you guys said that you wanted to do a rewatch party, and I want to do it so badly. So I will check StreamYard again and see if I can do it that way without having to pay. Even if I can do it and I do have to pay, I will try to do it. I hope that the watch time hours count. I've been a little bit worried about that, but other than that, it should be fine, right? Oh my gosh, there are people next door and they're working on something, so they're like banging on things or something like that. I don't know. Live streaming builds up watch time. Yes, it does. YouTube doesn't want to turn into a streaming platform, but basically forces creators to live stream to get hours. Yeah, that's like so weird. I don't know. If you have the video saved, you can set it as Premiere and re-upload it. Can I? So I would just, okay, so if I have the video saved, the ones that are already up, or so I can set it as a Premiere and then re-upload it. Oh, you mean like if I still have it? Wouldn't that be like spamming content though? Do you think YouTube would hit me for spamming content? like, I think you're saying, if I'm correct, I think you're saying, like, if I still have it on my computer, I could re-upload it to YouTube and just set it as a premiere and just talk to people that way. But I don't know. I know that YouTube has been cracking down a lot. Like, if you get hit with like a copyright thing, you won't be able to qualify for the YouTube partnership program anymore. Like, they've been changing that. So, and there's something else that they put on there too, like community strikes or something like that. But I don't know. So, like, if you have a strike against you, like, you won't be able to qualify for the partnership program, which kind of sucks. And it also sucks because I already have ads on my videos. Like, did you guys notice, like, have you guys noticed that you guys have ads on your videos? Because it was really frustrating to me. Like, sometimes I watch my own videos to try to see like what I should do better, or like how I can get a better shot on something, or things like that. Like, just try to note things for like future investigations. And I noticed that I had ads on my videos, and I was like, I'm not anywhere close to qualifying for the YouTube partnership program. So I actually looked it up, and it looks like YouTube did a thing with Google and allowed Google to basically place ads wherever they feel like they want to place ads, which kind of sucks because, like, I'm not getting any kickback, and I won't get any kickback for any of the ads that they have put up. So they put them on YouTube. Yeah, they want money. If they think people are going to watch, they're shady for sure. Definitely shady. Yeah, it sucks. And like, a lot of the times people don't know the things that YouTubers go through until they're actually like doing YouTube. It really sucks that, 4,000 watch time hours is a bit ridiculous for a channel that's small, but I mean, if you think about it, if you have 1,000 subscribers and all you need is 1,000 of your subscribers to watch 4 times for an hour. But I mean, are they really going to do that? Because not every subscriber is somebody who watches every single video that you put out. They may only watch one, or maybe they don't watch any of them. YouTube will delete comments off my channel and remove subscribers. Why do they do that? I haven't had that problem. I'm so sorry that you are experiencing that. Why? Google needs more income so they can feed their starving children. Oh my gosh. Google is crazy. We were watching, I don't know, like, my boyfriend and I were talking, and we were talking about that whole like Wayfair Pizzagate thing, and like somehow we got on the topic of like Google and that. I think there was a Google documentary on Netflix. Was it Netflix? I didn't watch the whole thing. So I probably should. But yeah, it's like so hard for up and comers. And I think that's why I'm trying to give love to the small channels right now. So, let me find a piece of paper, because I told Adam that I would watch his stuff, and I don't want to forget. I emailed them, but they never responded. I will get a notification that someone commented. And then when I go back to reply, it says that the comment has... There have been times... Okay. So there have been times when somebody will comment, and I'll go to reply, and I'll click on it, but it'll just take me to the video, and it won't show me the comment. But then if you hit the, your little profile picture, and you go to YouTube Studio, and then it'll show you comments that you haven't responded to, it'll be in there sometimes. And then sometimes I won't see it at all. So I don't know what's going on with that. And I noticed that, like, yesterday, I hit 888 in the morning, but then when I checked it, it was 887. And then when I came back later, it was 888. And I'm like, did somebody unsubscribe? Like, I'm not sure. And sometimes that does happen where, like, I'll check it and then it'll be like one less than before. And I'm like, okay, like, that's really weird. But I don't know if they're deleting it or not. One of my friends commented, and it's someone I know, they always remove. Yeah, that's like really weird. I feel like YouTube oversteps their boundaries sometimes. Like, calm down. I understand it's your platform, but hey. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so crazy. Like, everything's so nuts. And people don't, like I said, people don't realize it until they're like actually in the field, like doing it, or like trying to do YouTube, because YouTube is crazy. For any of you YouTubers that are out there, there is a YouTube support group on Reddit. I think it's just called YouTubers. I don't know if you guys have read it, but a lot of people ask questions in there. So if you guys are having trouble, or maybe you can ask that in the YouTube subreddit for YouTube, or like the subreddit group YouTubers, and ask that and see if maybe people will have answers for you. I've never asked anything in that group, but there are a lot of active people in that group. So maybe they'll be able to help. Oh my gosh, somebody's mowing their lawn. Stop mowing. Oh my. Oh, I'm surprised that I've been on here for 2 hours. I'm really happy about it though. So, death calls. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Well, have a nice day at work. Have fun with yourself in your morgue thing, you know. That was the right one, right? That was. This is what I say, like I get to talking and then I don't remember. Anyway, did you guys have any other questions that you wanted to ask? We got on a little rant there about YouTube. YouTube's gonna be like, really? Really? You're talking smack about me? That's so funny. Any other questions before I go? I'm really hungry. I haven't ate. I took my kids to school in an abandoned morgue. Oh, that would be really cool. There is a funeral home in Ohio, by the way. I don't remember what the name of it is. I don't have any of my books in here either. But there is a funeral home. If I remember the name, I will message you. We have TikTok. Can we even message on TikTok? I think you can. I'm not really like a TikTok user. I'm so used to Instagram that like TikTok for me is like difficult to understand. I have to head out. Have a great day. All right, Adam. Well, I will definitely be checking out your channel. And I will see. And Haunted by Haunted, I will check out your. I work nights and have been up since 9 p.m. Oh no. Ended up doing down the YouTube rabbit hole. I always go down the YouTube rabbit hole. I've been trying to do it with small channels though. I'm trying to show my love for small channels. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I made an Instagram on how to remove it because I ran out of phone memory. Oh, I'm sorry. I have that problem too sometimes. Yeah, I'll just message you on TikTok. I think I know how to do it. I will look at my book and then I will give you the name of that funeral home and how to contact them. Because I think they're through like Facebook and they don't have like a website or something. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I know I've been here for a really long time, and I know that maybe you haven't been here for that whole time. But thank you so much for joining. It makes me feel so special that you guys have been here for so long. But I'm starving. My stomach's literally eating itself. I'm starving, and then I have to work out before I go get my kids. So I'm going to do that. That would be cool. Yes, I will do that. And then when I get home, I will watch all of your channels. And please remind me later because I'll comment when I watch it, so you guys know that I'm watching your channel. So if I haven't commented by later today, please message me. Yeah, don't forget your smoke detector battery. That's something that I will do because it's been a solid like 2 weeks. I don't know that it's been going off, and I've been trying to sleep, and I'll just go, oh my god, like stop, quit being so annoying. But yeah, message me later if I don't comment on your YouTube if you want me to check it out, because I'll comment so that way you know that I checked out your stuff. All right, thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. You're so special. And keep working on them YouTube channels, you guys. You guys are gonna do great. I know you're gonna do great. Makes me so sad. I will see you guys later. Bye.